Hi everyone, my name is Elaine, and today I'm going to be both summarizing and reviewing the 29th novel in Terry Pratchett's Discworld series, Night Watch. Starting with the summary. Vimes arrives at work and discovers that another officer has been killed. This time, it's Sergeant Strong in the Arm. He was murdered by Carcer, a criminal the Watch has been looking for. Vimes receives a message. The Watch has cornered Carcer in New Hall. As the Watch continues to close in on their target, Vimes makes his way toward Carcer in a thunderstorm to make the arrest. Hail mixes with thunder, lightning strikes. Ponder reminds Carrot that there is an area of high magical potential above Unseen University's library's bookshelves. Being that the area was provided additional power from the storm, Vimes appears to have been moved through both time and space. Vimes awakens in the shades after having fallen from the library's dome. Carcer had gotten away, and Vimes had received a nasty cut over his eye. After exploring the city, Vimes realizes that something is wrong. No one knows who he is, and everyone he knows is younger than they should be. Vimes meets Lu-Tze, who informs him that he can't be sent back to his time. Yet. Now that John Keel has been killed by Carcer, there is no one to teach young Vimes how to be a proper cop. Vimes has to stick around to carry on the new narrative as Keel or Vimes' future may not happen. Lu-Tze is interested to see what happens. This study may answer a lot of questions, such as whether or not history corrects itself. Vimes convinces Captain Tilden that he's Keel. He's allowed to join the Watch as a sergeant-at-arms in Ankh-Morpork's past, where there's curfew and crazy paranoid Lord Winder rules the city. Vimes begins getting the Watch into better shape by dismissing an officer who took bribes, etc. Vimes takes young Vimes out on patrol and begins to teach him important lessons such as how to proceed properly. Vimes knows a revolt is coming, but there's nothing he can do about it. He can't change the future. Vimes discovers a note in one of Dibbler's meat pies, which he actually ate. The note reads, Morphic Street, 9 o'clock tonight, password swordfish. That's on page 157. He knows it has something to do with the famous Morphic Street conspiracy. Vimes hires Nobby, a street urchin, to work for him full-time, to watch his back. While out on patrol, Vimes and young Vimes encounter Carcer, now a sergeant in the Unmentionables, the secret police who carry out Lord Winder's whims. Carcer discovers that young Vimes is young Vimes. Vimes realizes times had changed. The Morphic Street mob did a runner. They weren't ambushed, there wasn't a fight. However, there was a riot over at Dolly Sisters. People were protesting the price of bread. Vimes discovers that his watch house is the only one that didn't fall under siege that evening because of his attempts at making the officers appear familiar and friendly. Ned Coates, an officer, reveals that he knows Vimes isn't whom he says he is. The watch discovers that Captain Tilden has been sacked. Vimes discovers that Ronald Rust is the new captain. Rust informs Vimes that the city has fallen under martial law due to rising tensions. Vimes knocks Rust out for instructing the Watch to shoot a group of unarmed rebels and assumes control of the Watch. The Watch begins helping the rebels as riots erupt across the city. Vimes and a few of his men infiltrate the Unmentionables' watch house. They discover that the Unmentionables' prisoners are being tortured. They free those who had survived and were well enough before setting the watch house on fire. Vimes kills Find Thee Swing, the Unmentionables' leader. The Unmentionables' watch house burns down. Vimes continues to organize the rebels as Keel had done during the original timeline. Nobby's captured. Carcer threatens him and gets the boy to talk. Carcer confirms his suspicions. Vimes is the rebels' ringleader. Vimes stops Big Mary, a construction designed to bring down the barricades. Lord Winder dies of a heart attack when Vetinari comes for him. Fighting erupts across the city. Vimes defends his barricade. Lord Snapcase is sworn in as patrician. A man the people wanted because many felt he could change things. The fighting stops. The patrician wants Keel dead for various reasons, which include breaking up Captain Swing's organization. Vetinari's aunt sends her nephew to warn Vimes. Ankh-Morporkians begin taking apart the barricades. The rebels are pardoned. Vimes and company are attacked by Carcer, now captain of the Palace Guard, and his men. The group flees. Eventually, they decide to fight back, donning Lilacs as plumes so they can tell each other apart from their foes. Fighting commences. There are casualties on both sides. The sweeper arrives on the battlefield with Q and stops time. He informs Vimes that he's going to send him back. He brought Keel's corpse so that it could take Vimes' place. Keel will have died in battle, and the monks will put everything else in order. All Vimes needs to do is grab Carcer or he will be left behind. Sam obeys. Vimes and Carcer arrive back in their proper time and place. Carcer gets away. Lady Sybil gives birth to a boy, Sam. While visiting Keel's grave, Vimes is attacked by Carcer. Vimes manages to arrest him. Vetinari appears and reveals he knows the truth about Vimes, and describes the end of the fight that took place following his departure. Keel's death, in which the rebels rallied and destroyed Carcer's men. In memory of John Keel, Vetinari offers to give Triacle Mine Road back to Vimes. And that's the end of the novel. And now, on to my book review. I had mixed feelings about this novel. It slowly and steadily unraveled and provided a historical basis for many of Ankh-Morpork's current workings. It was also interesting to see history write itself despite the small changes that took place because of Carcer and Vimes' presence. It was as though you couldn't really change history at all. I definitely wanted to see something more from Carcer. He was a very one-dimensional antagonist, and I would have appreciated it if he had been given more depth. clearer motivations, more personality, something. This novel was another which contained a continuity error. On page 154, Dibbler offers Vimes a sausage and a bun. The following pages describe the consumption of a meat pie and the note inside. These are two very different food items. One is a hot sandwich and the other is a meaty pastry. So overall, I gave this book a 3.3 out of 5-star rating. I would have been happier if the antagonist was more intriguing. However, I enjoyed being introduced to younger versions of most of the city's major players. I enjoyed reading about their roots, how Reg became a zombie in The Uprising, for example, Nobby's time as a street urchin, Dibbler's earliest attempts at sales in Ankh-Morpork. I liked reading about Ankh-Morpork's history and having more context for the things that exist in Ankh-Morpork's present. I feel as though these things carried the book and made up for the more leisurely pace, boring antagonist, and continuity error. And there you have it, my summary and review of Terry Pratchett's Night Watch. If you like what you saw here today, please give me a thumbs up, smash that like button until it's blue. Leave a comment down below, let me know what you thought not only of this review, but of this book if you read it. Subscribe, ring that bell so you'll know what's up, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye guys!